Good afternoon, everyone. Captain Lane speaking, and wishing you a safe travels to your crypto destination. For those of you traveling with mice, please securely position your cursor over the like button below and right-click with your favorite finger. For those with touchscreen devices, we ask that you gently press the
Greetings to the crypto community. We are pseudo-anonymous. We are here to smash that like button. We believe this content needs to reach more people like you. We are watching. We are listening. Most importantly, we are liking and subscribing. We are pseudo-anonymous. Expect us.
Hey, Kimmy, baby, I had a book over here in this drawer. You seen it?
You mean a little black book? Oh, honey, I cleaned out those drawers in that whole room and made a big donation to Goodwill. But don't worry, we can get you another one.
Oh, hell no. You're never going to believe what happened to me today at the Goodwill. I found a book of seed phrases, honey. I can get those hair transplants now. Oh.
Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
If you just stumble across the channel, it's probably because somebody hit that like button before. And for those of you who hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Well, it's all right now because anything you do, baby, that's all right. Oh, baby, that's all right.
Some call him the Nostradamus of crypto. His jargon skills have discovered new entire galaxies. He once was engaged to Satoshi Nakamoto's oldest sister. He is the most interesting trader in the world. And today we ask him, what do you do when the market crashes?
I buy more. And I also subscribe to Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.
Welcome everyone to join me for the daytime stream. These are not by standard. They just kind of pop up. You probably need to hit that bell notification if you ever want to have a heads up for it. I just come and go on the daily, but we do have a nightly stream, usually about 10:30 Eastern Standard Time is normally when I do my nightly stream, and we cover Bitcoin and the market and what's going on and try to find the best little setups that we can come across or profit taking opportunities looking at this market, because we're trying to make that life-changing money in crypto. That's the whole game for it. The goal is not to buy high, sell low, or ride it up and down on the roller coaster. And well, this is working. Oh, it's not working. This is working. It's not working. We want to keep it, that flow of cash coming in and number going up. But right now for Bitcoin, as good as it was, as good as it's been, well, she's facing some troubles here. Perhaps it's good to take a look at Bitcoin on the daily just to get a general view of the picture. What were we looking at here? There's signs here that there's some chop ahead, and they've been there for a while, and we've had that chop. But we broke out of that chop and got above that little area that we were struggling with, man. That 61,000 area. We got above it. Got above our previous high over here that we had, about 62,800-ish. We reclaimed this 200 daily moving average, and that's a big deal. 3 candles so far, 3 days, well, 4 days really, counting this wick that we had over here that got us over that hump. That was a glorious day. Everybody was happy. We're going to the moon, they said. They were drawing out little flag patterns, taking us up to $80,000 and just having a big old fun time, but it's just not always quite that easy. There's still that hope. But once you break a big level like the 200 moving average that we've been down for a while, we broke it before and popped back up, and it's nice when you do. It's nice when you do if you can hold it. We couldn't hold it. We lost it again. But wow, we're above it again. We got a chance. We got a chance. And we're hanging out here. Now, if we lose this 200 moving average, well, that immediately makes me flip bearish, because that's the rules of the game with the 200. If you're above it, you consider yourself bullish. If you're below it, you're typically bearish. Now, they can flip-flop in between. It's not a solid, but it's the first signs that, we need to pay attention to this. Something about to happen. That's true on any time frame, but it's more true on the bigger time frames like the daily, the weekly, and whatnot. That's the ones that rule the game. That's the generals in this battle that we're at. They're the ones that give the orders. They're the ones that got the map and the battle plans and all that. So we need to pay attention to what they say. The 1 minute's fun to play with, but that's the little peon out there, and he might get shot. Bad analogy, but yeah, people live and die on that 1 minute chart for some reason. It's okay if you're a scalper, you like the scalp in life, but for me, I like the bigger gains, and the bigger gains come from the bigger time frames. That's just true. That's just how this game is played. So the daily says we're holding up above that 200 moving average. That comes in at 63,338. We just hanging on by a hair. There are some signs here on the daily saying we're kind of tapped out a little bit, or maybe we're tired. We had a big run up and we got to catch our breath, and that's what we're doing. Now we come down to the 4 hour, just kind of break it down a little bit more. We got a few other moving averages up here that I use, a few extra ones. 800 being that orange line right here is very significant, and we're below it again. Why, that's kind of like the 200. If we're below it, well, it's a bearish sign. We want to be above that. We want price to hang out above these moving averages, and we want these other moving averages to be drawn up with price and cross them. That's what we want. That's the flipping in that we're looking for, but that flipping in just ain't happening today. So there's some shell shock in the market, and when we start losing places and things don't just keep going up, well, the market starts getting scared, and then when the market gets scared, well, they lose their poo-poo and they just go crazy and start doing dumb stuff. And we can start seeing some long squeezes, short squeezes, and a lot of volatility when this happens. The best advice that I can give for this situation is ye o faithful trend line. The best navigation tool in this market. This is your sextant if you're out on this ship. This is your GPS to help you figure out what is going on, what direction are we headed. We're still above this main trend line here that we've got. It does connect from this wick to these bodies to that bodies. We got the touches, 3 touches there, 3 main touches. There's a lot more if you count each individual candle. This is a strong trend line. We might be headed back to it. If we bounce from here, that's great. If we break it, well, then we're looking about 60,500-ish. That could happen too. There's some good signs, some bullish signs here on this trend line, or not on this time frame rather. And that's our 200 moving average, which we're above, which we're bullish. We may come back and retest it. We often do when we break above it. Broke above it here, haven't retested it, haven't revisited it, and price likes to just go back and make sure that that step was solid and is not going to sink if they put their foot back on it. Also, the 50 moving average, which is this blue line right here, is getting ready to cross that. Now, that's always taken as, well, it's just generally accepted in these moving average strategies that that's a buy sign. Now, my interpretation of it is it doesn't mean buy right now. It means buy the next pullback. That's the safest way I've found to play it, because usually there is a pullback when that happens. That pullback might be coming back to retest is there. That's 61.5. Is your plan ready for a $2,000 drop if that happens? Is it time to short? You could be working on a short, but you haven't broken any major trend lines, so what if you short come down? You're probably not too happy if you've been shorting, and my shorts haven't been, you know, they've just kind of been flapping out there. We're sideways, people. This is what happens. We get a nice run up, and then we go through a little accumulation or a little reaccumulation or a consolidation, and we figure out what's going there. But breaking that daily 200 moving average is the first step of success. Retesting it, that's just, that could be expected. Dropping below it, that's the sign we don't want to see, because that means there's more fun and games in the market, more whale games going trying to take your Bitcoin and trying to take all the profits that you made on this run up. That's generally how this works. You make your money on the run up. Market makers make their money in the chop, taking it back away from you. They do. They're good at it. Trading the chop is, well, it's not always the smartest move. Yet, I still do it. I still try to do it. We all still try to do it because, look, it's a flag. It can go up. And, you know, it can also not. Flags and bull flags are not a given, and they're not the most reliable, but they are cool when they do play out. Now, we can try to formulate what's going on here with these trend lines, and it's pretty nice. But the real thing to look at, in my personal opinion, is just this horizontal range that we're in, that we lost. Because when you get a consolidation, it's usually a channel. Price usually travels in a channel, and once you kind of commit to that idea, this market opens up a lot more to you, and then even patterns and things like that make more sense when you can zoom out and see that, well, most of these patterns that we're throwing out there, you know, they fit within a much bigger spectrum. They fit within channels and triangles. And seriously, you can break it down and make it that easy, because when you divide a channel, you get your triangles. It just simplifies it and just helps you kind of zoom out and get a bigger feel. So if we're looking at it from this way, we got a channel that we broke, and it's got a measured move that we can take because we are clearly under it. Also suggesting these little areas that we're looking at around this 618 fib. Now, I probably want to redo my fib. I like to just make sure I got some accurate, up-to-date data out there, but we got a measured move taking us down to 62,200-ish. That might be what we're looking for. Okay, that's cool. If you're ready for that idea, and you can see the signs on the wall that says, yeah, that's probably what is going to happen, because not only is price rolling over and getting out of this channel, but, you know, the moving averages are also rolling over and flipping a little bearish, but we're still good. There's still some good signs coming up. It's just taking a breather, in my personal opinion. Doing a little flesh out of some of the high leverage that likes to get in play when we start making these green candles, because most of the market loves buying them green candles. It's when you finally figure out, well, that's not the best rules of the game to play by, and then you find that you start winning a little bit more in this market instead of just following the blind sheep that are saying, we're going to 70,000. Watch me take this big $2,000 trade so I can make 35 and show you how to make millions. You see all kinds of stuff here on YouTube. Do things a little different on this channel because I like to zoom out a little bit. I'm not zoomed out too far right now. I'm on the 1 hour. That's kind of close up right here. And we just see what's going on, baby. We're saying what's going on. Now, if I were to take this 1 hour and I were to get picky about my trend lines and try to figure out what's going on, I get something a little different there. Still within this channel that we lost the TA says it's a good chance to come down here, and that would mean breaking this trend line, which could also bring a bigger move to the downside. But what? I'm not ready for that. Well, I mean, if we break this trend line, well, there's another measured move, and we'll take a conservative one just right here and put that there. So, I mean, there's a couple of down steps we might be kind of coming to, and that brings us down to this very particular moving average, which is 60,500. So here are some bearish scenarios, not necessarily bearish. I think it's actually healthy. This scenario makes a lot of sense to me. That brings us down to our main trend line, which we probably should come down and retest. I would say if I had to, just based on what I'm seeing right here, predict something to happen, I would say we got a good chance of that, and that creates what people will be calling a Bart Simpson pattern, probably. You get a little Bart up here. I thought he was looking like Batman myself because he had a nice little widow's peak and another little bat ear up there. It's not bad if we come down here. It's not bad at all. It's actually kind of healthy, so I wouldn't see it. But it might be an opportunity if you're into shorting and you want to try to do that, but I would say it will be a choppy move down, and it'll probably test your patience if you're trying to short. I'm not saying this is just being a fast one. It could be, but a lot of times when these market makers do their little market making and to try to connect buy prices with sellers and sell prices with buyers and all of that, there's a lot of volatility in there. And that's where they make their money, and that's just where they just love to try to scare the bejesus out of everybody. I say hold on to your bejesus. You need bejesus in your life, and let's not get scared because Bitcoin made a good bullish move, getting above the areas it needed to. Had it not done that, we would be looking at probably 50,000 again. What it's saying and what it's telling me right now is that we're less likely to go visit those areas. Always could, but less likely to happen now. So it's got us in a mixed bag with our altcoins because they were looking good and then they started losing it. This is total 3 right over here. We followed the 4-hour time frame, and she was looking juicy. Yes, she was. She was looking good. We were being happy. And I was saying that, with the chances of coming up a few more billion, which didn't manifest, we rolled over after breaking past this little point over here, a Fibonacci place. Look bullish, like she might be trying to go above it. We're for that, not against it, but it doesn't always play out that way. Sometimes that level doesn't hold. So we were smart if you were taking profits as we head into that level. We even started especially breaking that level, especially breaking this little trend line area, retesting that trend line area. Those were all good opportunities just by using total 3 to tell you, hey man, I might need to pay myself in my altcoins because, well, they might be coming down. So we need to take a look at total 3, in my personal opinion, on the bigger on a bigger chart. That way we can kind of zoom out and see what's going on. So we won't freak out, man. We've been in this channel. Now, the price structure on this is bearish. Lower lows, lower highs, that kind of deal, right? But the overall pattern, when we connect the dots, is actually bullish because this usually breaks up about 65-70% of the time, breaks to the upside. It takes it a while because it can bounce around in this channel until it gets its partial decline and decides, oh, it's time to turn it around. We're showing some signs of some partial decline right now. We've got this juicy trend line here. Now, will she hold? I don't know. It's not the most solid one in the world. The most solid one in the world I'll be looking at is this one, which did not hold. We're below it. So if I were being real strict with my trend line rules, yeah, that one's saying, we in for something right now, a little bit of a drop. Could be falling back by another $20 billion back to the 570 something. So get ready for that. That's possible. That's what it says. It doesn't look like we're just going to bounce right back up. We're probably going to chop around a little bit. Still, 4-hour time frame. We've got our bullish buy signal. 50 crossing 200. Doesn't mean buy today. It means buy the next pullback. This is our pullback coming back, testing that 50 area. We're likely to bounce around through here. It's a good time to maybe build a bag in altcoins that you have conviction in, and a great time to kind of just get out the ones that you don't have a conviction in. That's been my gameplay, and I like how it's been working out. It's been doing well for me, except for now, since the market's starting to pull back, my sell orders not getting hit anymore, and I miss that. I like those sell orders. We expand this channel idea where we can zoom in and see we got a secondary trend line going right here. Respected. Look at the shoulder, head and shoulder to the downside. Not. just because, let me say this about Head and Shoulders because I'm just sick and tired of a shoulder, head and shoulder all the time. You need a solid neckline. You really want to see this right shoulder be below this left shoulder, because if it's not, well, it's probably not going to play out the way you think. Because that's showing some strength in this pattern, and strength is what we got. She come back. It really just identified we were in a channel, which, as we talk about on this channel a lot, see that price travels in channels, especially this channel, the Road Dog channel. We just identify those channels. So I am a pattern trader. I do like patterns, but you got to be sensible with patterns and look for other signs. And if you had a bad experience with patterns, well, hopefully I can show you what works for me and why I have so much confidence in them. There's just a few little key things you got to look for. Your support resistance. There's other things. You just don't go willy-nilly. Oh, look, let's make the pattern. Let's jump right in. This market is not. It takes a little time to get your feet wet and get used to it, get comfortable with your own ability to navigate it. But I'm telling you, if you're trying to make some life-changing money, I have not found a better avenue than crypto. And just learning some basic TA, just doing some basic solid strategies, staying away from all the hype and the emotional gurus out there, getting into their ego, getting you all pumped up and emotional, because those emotions are what you're trying to keep out of your trading. We prefer to get into a Zen state where we're just kind of neutral. Como ça? That's what I like anyway. That's how I look at the market. You don't have to look at it. You can crank up your death metal and just short and jump in and out and scalp to your heart's desire. Does not work for me though. I'm identifying our little channel that total 3 is just kind of bouncing down and down. But keep in mind, eventually she's going to quit bouncing down and she's going to break back to the upside. And we're going to see these altcoins come back. Right now, we need to take advantage of what opportunities we might have for the ones that we got the major convictions on. We also see a Bitcoin dominance is taking the lead, so she's starting to steal the show. People have been selling out of altcoins and going back into Bitcoin is what Bitcoin dominance is telling me. Some things in the market making the dollar go in value, and some people are coming back into stablecoin too. She's making a series of higher highs and higher lows. So, altcoins they had the run up, and if you're not paying yourself when you get those run ups, well, you get the blue face like I'm wearing today. But I'm not so blue because I was taking some profits, and I can't tell you, once you get on that side of the equation, this market starts looking a lot more promising. It's a hard thing to take profits. It's hard, and I try to be a reminder, not just for you, but for myself too, because I do struggle with that. But me mentioning it and me harping on myself, and even on this channel, has helped me to do better at that, and hopefully it will help you guys do better at that too. Total 3. Let's give a shout out to everybody's hanging out here. Just hope to gosh that I got my microphone on. It looks like it is. I think we're safe here. We've got Sam Webb that was here. We got Strega. How's it going, Mr. Strega? Sleek Call, the daily and the weekly on Art Block, ABT look prime. I can make a list of that. I got a few coins I can go over if you want to go over any. This is not going to be a long string, not meant to be a long string. We're just kind of covering the market as a whole. And I know it looks a little skittish right now, and people are saying it's skittish, but it's just a healthy correction in my personal opinion. Brackets Avenger was his first. My man. He's quick. Hard to beat him. Trey Spot. Arch Big. Glad to have you guys hanging out. Let's start turning to some altcoins there. We had we were talking about ABT. It's I keep someone to say it's Alliance blockchain. It's not it. It's Arc Block, is that right? It's not on CoinEx. Let's get rid of that. And looks like Coinbase has got it. Let's check out that chart. So what we're saying about Art Trade Intuition says, I love it hearing the struggles of real traders. It makes trading. That's what we don't hear enough of. We got too many people trying out to, look, I'm the man. You need to do exactly what I do. Your lifestyle needs to mimic exactly what I do. Your mentality needs to be what I think. If you're not doing it my way, you're not doing it wrong. And what you notice over time with these guys is that, well, they haven't got their system entirely figured out. And when they tweak it and they get rid of bad habits, those bad habits that they were championing recently, look, you got to do what I do. And then they change their mind and, oh, all that stuff that was silliness. I used to do that when I didn't know any better. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be the pro trader of 15 years or whatever here. What the hell? And, you know, they tweak their system and now everything is, you know, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors on YouTube, all right? I'm not going to get into the whole guru thing. We're here to make money, not complain about other people that aren't really actually out there showing people how to do it. The goal of this channel is to show you how to do it, and I do have a membership area on this stream. If you want to join it, you don't have to, but the people that did, I give back a little extra, and I'm breaking down my portfolio and showing exactly what I'm doing, how it's working for me, and then you can compare what I do and what I say with my results. I show my P&L, I show everything. The whole scenario. I know how to find the little buttons that the other gurus always seem to miss that kind of reveal the whole ins and outs, the whole truth of that account. Where money was moved in, money out, where trades were lost, and all that stuff. You don't see that on YouTube. And there's a reason why. It lets people know that the emotions and thought process are real. Exactly. Because if you can't be true to yourself, especially if you're a guru out here trading, you're not being true to your audience as well. And you either got conviction for the trade you're taking or you don't. And when you see them get into a trade and then they start flip-flopping, well, this is why it didn't work out. Well, maybe it was a bad trade setup to begin with. Maybe you didn't actually have a good trading plan, and maybe you didn't execute that plan. It's those things. But getting into the minute, but even that's educational because you see the emotional flip-flops going on some of these strategies that they have. I'm not here to bash. It seems I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to actually look at the market, but I get on a tangent because that's near and dear to my heart. That's why I started this channel, because I just see so much sloppy information and not really transparent information. And it's hard to be 100% transparent on YouTube, and it's risky to be 100% transparent on YouTube. Not just because it'll expose you if you made a mistake or, oh, I didn't call this right or anything like it. It's risky just because, well, I mean, you're throwing out some very personal information and willing to share that. Hence my paywall. That makes me feel a little bit more safe. It's a $3 paywall. Anyway. So ABT art block, she got up to about what was it? Ooh, that's nice in the $2 areas. I moved the line, move it back. 226, and now we're sitting under $2 right now. Standard pullback, that's cool. Moving averages look promising. They're starting to come around a little. I'm on the 1 hour time frame. I would much rather, when I start looking at these coins, I always think the general rule is to zoom out. That's where you can get your best information, period, hands down every time. Moving averages look nice. We got the nice bounce off of this one right here, the 360 on the daily. I like that. 200 moving average and 100 moving average are coming up here at this 382 Fibonacci area. We pulled our fib swing high to swing low. I can tighten them up just a little bit on that wick, but we're above our accumulation zone, what I call an accumulation zone, anywhere below our main pull 236. This is where this is going to be the best place to stack up. And, you know, you look for patterns we got down there and breakouts, and that was the best place to play if you were catching it, you know, and following the strategies, trend line strategies, things I show here. Those ideas would help you catch that. That's why I talk about them, gaining the non-moving average on the daily. It's got all the things that look good. It's just that she had her little run up, and now she's going to have to take a breather. I would be looking for this area at 241 as the area that will probably still strive up to before rolling over, and then we could probably look for a bigger pullback, maybe 186. Some not far from the areas that we're at now, so a little up and down, a little give and take as she starts to slowly make higher highs and higher lows. This 236 Fibonacci area also shows you this perfectly, this little support resistance area, and that's basically what we're doing. We got to get past that. Once we do, we can start looking for $2.06, $3.31 is the main one I would go for, because why would you want to pass up a 618 Fibonacci? That's just where price always, it just wants to go there. I'm not going to call it a magnet, although I can make an analogy with, we won't get into that. But there's kind of like eye magnets and then price magnets. That's a strong word, but it's the equilibrium line. It's like when you have your little rubber band thingy thing here and you flip it Well, it comes back. It will go to this side, the bottom, and tops, but eventually it kind of finds a little middle ground, and that 618 helps you determine the new middle ground on all these pulls and all these new highs and lows we got. There's a little special middle ground. It's not exactly in the middle. It's just a little bit above or a little bit below. It's at a 618. We see it in nature. It just works out beautifully. And you will see me use this strategy a lot because it makes me money. It keeps me in the game and keeps me where I don't have to go and work for the man anymore. I haven't worked for the man since 2020 when everybody got the big layoff and severance pay and all that good stuff, and I've not had to go back. Now, I wasn't prepared for it, but I was able to actually dig my heels into this market, learn what I didn't know, work on the weaknesses that I had, the weaknesses I didn't even know. And it changed my life, and it can change your life too. Now, I'm not saying that everybody doesn't need a job, but we can see that clearly jobs are not the forefront of our current administration. So, and it looks like, there will be fewer and fewer jobs. Might I turn you on to one of the best jobs and hustles that I've found in my entire life? This should be taught in schools. If not taught in schools, this should be taught from parent to child. Once you figure this out, because this is generational wealth generating information that we can apply here. And why does it work in crypto so much? Well, because there's not the barriers to get into crypto that you have as far as it gets into being a certified trader or whatever, an authorized trader in the legacy market. They keep you down and keep you out. Crypto is open for everybody. It's a totally free market, and we like that. It's not so easy to get into the stocks, and there are a lot more rules to go by and stuff like that. Same principles apply. Same TA will apply. You'll make a killing, and I've proven that myself. That stocks, it nails it. It does awesome on stocks too. It's just a harder game to get into because they don't want you in, unless you're dumb money that they can take, and that's what they like. So let's take a look at some altcoins here. ABT, we come down to the smaller time frame. Now we looked at the bigger time frames, looked at the smaller one. Oh, we got some other bigger moving averages up here at 258, and that's a good target on these smaller time frames because we can go above our fibs. They can wick up above. That might be where she wicks to. Those are just some ideas there. For this one, I'm just saying higher highs, higher lows, still respecting that trend line, and then until she doesn't, I would look at buying on the trend line, 180, 182, bouncing from there. And then we start looking for 241. So those are some ideas on art block. Jason says, listening to you doing a demo job on a 12x12 garage. Thank you for your time, Road Dog. Hey man, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your time, man, because without you guys, I have no channel, and I've got no audience to share this information with. And this information is near and dear to my heart. I'm not trying to shill it or sell it. You'll see a few affiliate links in here because, there's expenses to a channel, but that's not my main goal. My main goal is just my passion for crypto and just to share what I've found to people that need it. And I just believe that people that resonate with me, even though I'm weird and look funny and have different faces, I'm here to just share stuff that could really put you in a situation. I feel like that's my calling, is to do this, and the right people will come, and the right people will learn the skills to change their lives. That's what I hope, because the world is screwed up, if you haven't noticed, and this is our safety net. What is the plan? Plan is just to chill out and make that money, baby. We're just getting a pullback. Arrow is a good alt. I'm not as much into the Arrow. I'm not against it, but it's not one that I'm particularly. A lot of people really sold on it, but it's not going to be one of my main focuses. Although I'm chart it and everything, I'm sure it'll do fine. So broke this trend line. Let's take this little guy and put it over here to some candle bodies. Looks like we might have another trend line established. It's not as beautiful. I'm on a 4 hour. I like to go first by the candle bodies as much as I can because they're solid. And that gives us a trend line that we did come back and touch. Now, immediately I look at that and say, well, that's good. That's deviating from our basic trend line. That means we're starting to do something else. There might be a little bit of parabolic activity coming because we got a secondary trend line that's forming from this one. And it's respecting it. Show some respect. If you're looking for patterns, ideas, well, first, let me throw this idea. This is the most simple way to look at it. You find your bottom, and then you go to the top, and you see you got a little range going here between these blue lines, and that's a channel. Now, there's a little horizontal line that divides that channel, but still, there's a channel nonetheless. So if you wanted a simple way to kind of gauge if we break out of this channel where price could go, you just take a measure move, the width of that, and put it out wherever we break out, top of that trend line, and it suggests that price will be coming up to about 96 cents. Alternative way to look at this, if you really get into your patterns, bottoming patterns, continuation patterns, and whatnot, you'll see something that a lot of altcoins are showing, and it's got a little dangle thing and then a little bit of a roundy thing, and it's called an Adam and Eve. And it's also basically a channel idea, but your measure move is not quite as deep if you're taking it from the top down to the bowl, and that's how you do it. And you would put it at that breakout, and it also comes up to a little area we got marked, a Fibonacci area. Remember that one? We got confluence, so I take that as confluence for this area too. So two areas, just by measure moves alone, two different ideas, and they can both play out. You're not picking one or the other. It's just like, this is the first step, that's the second step, and that's how we can do it. 85 cents, 96 cents, possible coming out of Airdrome after she figures out all this stuff. With this Adam and Eve pattern, what we really hope is that when she confirms, she kind of keeps going up and then, you know, test the level that we broke out of. That would be breaking out of this pattern. Until that happens, well, she can flag out. She can do some other things. She can make another E pattern over. There's a lot of, or even just come down. It can fail. If she loses this trend line, I would consider this pattern failed. So they don't always just immediately break out to the upside. Sometimes they got to finagle things around and then do it. Gives you another opportunity to buy, like where we are right now at 66 cents because we're retesting that trend line. That's how I look at it. If the trend line holds and we start seeing this hold here and start coming up, well, there's your buy. If she breaks below there, then, well, you might want to take profits, stop loss, those ideas, because she can be coming lower. Shorting for some, although you're shorting support, until it flips to resistance, you are shorting the support, which is the same as buying the very tops, where it can totally go against you. So it's the most favorite place for people to short is when we come to the bottom of the trend line. It helps if you flip that mindset. I see that a lot, and that's where some of the morning gurus want to start shorting immediately when we start coming down to the bottom of of support lines, or maybe wick below them. Oh, it's time to short. Well, it's time to be cautious and see what's going on, because this market and the market makers, they love to play with your head. They're good at it. So, but I do see a possibility. Moving averages are telling me, I got a little something going on. Maybe. There's also some rollover signs, so don't get all, wait for your confirmation. But this pattern and the trend line suggest that, there might be a bounce here. Look for it. All right, let's go check out a few things here's some coins that, we've looked at, followed quite a bit on the channel, and this is the reasons why, because I think they would perform good and they show some strength. And ATK or AKT, Akash Network, is one of those. When she was down at 260 and now she went up to 321 and flirting with $3, $2.92 again. That's a pretty good come up. Because if you've been getting into this, it's also got that little Adam and Eve type bottoming pattern. That's some good 20% gains to be had. So let's zoom out on AKT and see what's going on. She broke the best trend line that we had. I mean, this was really kind of what we were looking for, and we just move it down to get new information. New trend line got rejected there, so that says that's pretty much true. We also got, this trend line. So playing with the trend lines here, we got some options and see some support areas and resistance areas. Moving averages. 800, 600, 300, 200, they're all looking nice. It's just that price took a nosedive. And how these are stacked up and spread apart and going in the right direction, the right sequential order, that means the momentum is on our side, and then we can definitely come back up and touch this 200. That's at $4. So we got to reclaim this trend line, and this little bottoming pattern that we talked about, this little Adam and Eve or double bottom, however you want to look at it, they're both the same. You know, they're both bottom and double bottom patterns. Just one's got a name and a shape, a little different than some of the others. They perform the same way. If that can propel us enough to reclaim this trend line, then I would look for a strong move. I mean, there'll be some chop, but it should be an overall stronger move that should take us up to 475. So that's how I'll be looking for a kosh. If I were going to try to put a trade setup, which, not a bad idea. I mean, that's where you would want your confirmed entry to be on the safe side. And of course, any degens would deviate from that, and I fall into that category where I like to front run things, but I'm willing to take that risk. But getting above that trend line, you can put a very, very tight stop loss. I like below this candle over here, somewhere in this support resistance flip, maybe about a 10% stop loss, and you get a nice 5-to-1 risk reward ratio, and that's pretty cool. Put $100 in here, or let's put it this way. You put however much you want in here, but you don't want to lose more than $100. Well, your stop loss should be that $100 mark. When we reach that price, that should be your $100 that you're willing to lose. This is what the morning gurus are not explaining, because I don't think they understand this concept at all of planning the trade and then letting the plan play out. So if this little guy right here, that's your $100 stop loss. Well, that means, well, man, you might have a $500 or $1,000 in on this. I don't know. There's calculators to help you figure this out, and you even see some of the morning gurus trying to figure this stuff out too. Anyway, I don't know. I don't understand what their logic is. Kind of weird sometimes. But if this doesn't work out, this fails, and we wait, okay, we're willing to lose that $100. But look, if it plays out and there's we got a solid fib line up here, we got a little wick up here that she needs to come back and reclaim. It'll take it a while, but going all the way back up here is a 5-to-1, meaning that instead of losing $100 getting stopped out, we're gaining $500. And when we get up here, our profit's going to be $500. If we stick to this plan. If we're just going to jump out as soon as we make $50, well, why waste your time planning this out? Because you're just gambling. I'm taking what I get. If you can't, if that's what you're looking for, well, you just pull, be real with your risk reward ratio. Look, it's a 2.65. That's okay. It's 1-to-1 is the worst. I mean, or anything less than that, I would say it's the worst. But if you don't have a good risk reward ratio, if you're not getting at least 3-to-1 on a setup that has a good likelihood to play out, well, you're cheating yourself. You're taking risk. You're really gambling with taking more risk than what's there. You're lying. You're deceiving yourself as to the true risk. So that's why this concept is important, in my personal opinion. And being realistic about your targets. That 200 moving average on the daily is a great little target. And if you want to be more realistic about hitting that, well, then are you cool with a 2.72? I'm not. How will you change that? We need a tighter stop loss. And you can do that if you're looking for the right signs and right signals. If she does actually bounce off of here and start going up, we can get in. We may have to raise that a little bit. But see, I've got a 3.82-to-1 risk reward ratio. And risking, and my stop loss is at 6%, meaning I only lose $60 instead of $100 per se if we change it. But that's more realistic than, some crazy ass measure move to go to way up here. Look, it's a 15-to-1 risk to reward ratio. We'll put our stop loss down here at 35%. Those are crazy ass trades. Crazy ass trades. Are you going to preach? I think I'm harping more than I am actually sharing. So that's what we're doing. Let's go back to the chat so I can get back on track here. Brackets of picture says the short's doing well. That's cool. Hey, there's a mercy received. Glad to see you, my man. Glad it alerted you. I know sometimes YouTube alerts. I don't ever depend on it myself. I surrendered in the end and got some shorts running now. It's the probe thing. They're fanatic about it. So I'm glad that your shorts are going on, and they probably will. If it looks like it's taking them a while to gain some momentum, but maybe they'll start. But just remember, they may not short down to really, really low prices. We'll just check it out. Let's take a look at some of the things that we looked at Akash. Let's go ahead and take a look at Caspa, because, well, everybody loves Caspa. I like Caspa. It's one that I'm trying to keep growing this guy, but she just wants to hang sideways for the longest. 16.7. She ain't going nowhere right now. She's just hanging there. She can come down to the 14.8s and things like that, but right now she's respecting this top area. This would probably be a good one to get that range tool out of. Oh, that's not it. Fixed range volume profile, and just see what it says. It's pretty good at ranges, it really is. So point of control, it's saying maybe 16.5. We could bounce from there. That may be all we do, and then start heading back up to 18.8. I've still got a 17.8, 19. I still got a 23-cent target. I'm just looking to see what Caspa's going to do. She's just hanging around being Caspa. Not a bad thing. It's just a slow thing. She keeps making higher highs and higher lows. She just takes her own sweet time. And I'm always going to say the reason why is because there are too damn many coins. But it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing. We can deal with it. It just makes her go a lot slower. Harder to get those bigger moves up. So yeah, get used to this price action of Caspa going sideways and hanging out and being boring. We will see lots of that. That's just how she be, but she's worth being in. One of the best altcoins, I think, to focus on, in my personal opinion, and I am anyway. It's going to be my second biggest bag that I'll be concentrating on. HNT Helium having a pretty good day. I got a t-shirt and a hat today in the mail from them. Some swag. I think they were just trying to appease me because I didn't have the greatest experience with the miner, and I gave it to one of you guys. I'm sending it out to one of you guys, and you guys didn't have the greatest experience, but finally they did the right thing. They replaced it, and it seems to be up and working. It was like a firmware issue, which is supposed to automatically update whenever you turn it on every time, but for whatever reason. So anyway, I got some helium swag. It's a green t-shirt, so I can't really wear it here because I'm see-through, and I don't really wear hats that much. The hat had a funny saying. I forgot what it was, but it was what a wild ride or a wild experience. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like my helium miner experience. But they did the right thing, and that was good. And I'm glad that, a lucky person that got that miner is, well, I'm glad it's finally lucky and not being a headache anymore. HNT. This is not the Helium Mobile Network, but this is the first coin that they came out with the previous miner before they switched over to Solana Network and left everybody hanging or whatever. $7, and it may be going up. She's making serious higher highs, higher lows above the 200 moving average. Where will you go, babes? Where are you headed? And here we go. We pull a fib to swing high, swing low. See why she got rejected. 618. Why do I always use it as a target? Because this is what we see happen. It's a great target. 796. We got to come back up there. Front run it a little bit in case she makes a lower high and makes an M pattern. Decides to roll over and say, "What was that? We're going back to zero." Not zero, but you could see that. That's what we don't want to see. In this megaphone pattern, and she can stay in here for a while. They're kind of fun. They can come all the way back down here and then shoot all the way up here. So there's some potential for these megaphony patterns. I like them actually. Technically they're bearish, but they'll play out bullish for a while. 934 would be the other target I'd be looking for right there for Helium Mobile, and that'd be kind of cool. Imagine if she comes back down to $6, which she could be doing and has touched down close to there. And this just gets bullish as all get out. 33% gains back to $8, and she gets up to 9 something. 57, 58% gains. Doable. But in the bigger sense, there's still going to be some chop. So, but you can still play that to your advantage. Helium having a nice little day today. Another one having a nice day is another one we follow on the channel is Ori Chain. Check it out on KuCoin. She's, how much is she now? She's on deep discount, but nice little roll over here. Reclaim the Lucy line. 800 moving average is what she bounced off of on the daily. That's if you're looking for a risky degen entry that will pay you big bucks, that's a great one. 800 moving average. If you find a price around there and you want to take that little degen play, I do. I'm just throwing these out at 800 moving average. Because if you lose that, you in some serious trouble. It's your last little ditch effort for bullishness. When you bounce off of that one, it's like, this might be the one, baby. Let's go. If we're looking at a trend line, she's also got a little breakout being confirmed here in Ori Chain. She's starting to look good. $7 area, $7.50 area, but I'm mostly looking for this $8 area to be hit again on Ori Chain, and that'd be nice. If you're a breakout trader, this is your breakout, and you'll be 30% gains up there. If you happen to be a bottom feeder like I am and look for these juicy little areas, well, then adding some positions there or open a position there. If we get up there, that'd be a nice 50% gains. You can't always catch the bottoms, not saying that you can or will or whatever, but eventually, if you're in this market long enough or you're following the right people that kind of talk about it, we can point out some juicy little hints that these are bottom areas, and that 800 moving average is one of those. Kadena is looking better. She's still out back to $2 or $3 by any means or anything like that, but looking a lot better than 40 cents, being at 55 cents, got as high as 61, so she's doing something. This is one that I'm in, and I have more than I thought I had of this. I don't have the conviction for this one that I thought that it might have. So as she comes up, I'm taking profits, and we de-risk or whatever you want to call it. Roll those profits into something else. That's what I'm doing until she can show me, hey man, maybe I can actually reach $50. I don't know that it can, but she can make me some money as she comes up with these targets. 79.80 cents is the biggest one we got to look for. That's a support and resistance flip area right over here where she has some trouble, and she needs to come up there. This is also her accumulation zone by my Fibonacci strategy, but she too also looks like she has a possibly confirmed breakout there. There's a little extra wiggle room with these wicks, so may not be, not technically out of the safe zone to call it that, but on the tighter pull here, or the tighter trend line that we got, she's trying to break out. Money flow is also coming into the green. Now, if you're looking at Market Cipher, that's the best thing to look for on here. When you start seeing green here on this little bar, or you're following the actual money flow indicator here, when she starts getting into the green, that means things are going to start going our way to the upside. We have more of a chance for it to go up. The probabilities are stacking up more on our side to be more bullish, and that our bullish plays and bullish ideas are more likely to play out. Not the shorting ones or the bearish ones. They're going to take a back burner. But we're starting to get bullish is what it says, and it's a good time. That money flow is getting into the green. That means happy days ahead. Another one's looking kind of interesting today, gaining some ground, because not all of them are. Remember, altcoins are starting to have a pullback. You will find some juicier prices out of most of these altcoins. But Prime, looking like it's having a nice little day. Coming up to the 100 moving average area, which bearish costs are 360, so gotta look at that. Looking to the left, you see the little areas that we gotta contend with. This little area over here that we haven't quite made it back above, but she's a try. I'll have to come down to the 4 hour. Let's look at these moving averages. So we got Miss Lucy sitting up there just waiting to bash her. It's gonna be the first thing on her agenda is to bash her. Now, what I'll say about this 800 moving average is also up here. When we get these guys together, I mean, she'll probably talk to Lucy, and if Lucy doesn't just smack her down immediately, she might come up here and talk to the 800. That's cool. 800 will probably be the rejection area for a little sideways, but right now she's trying to do that little parabolic move. These are the targets I've got. 1185, 1076 make great targets for those moving averages, as well as the typical measure moves that we got up here. There's a 1230 measure move. I would go over the moving averages and put more faith in those than those actual solid measure moves at this point. We can also pull our little fib up here, swing high to swing low, tell me where price is going to go. And we cleared that little area. It suggests that 1061 right there. See how beautiful this is, the confluence. We got Lucy's line and the fib area. There's our target. That is where we are most likely to come up and find some disappointment. Not find some disappointment. If you're selling there, you're probably happy. Oh, look, I made some money, got paid. But where we are right now to up there is about another 18%. Not bad on spot. Not bad on spot. I expect her to have some trouble here and roll over. And then we start looking for a higher low. Where would that higher low be? Well, could be anywhere along this trend line and probably will be. At that point, whenever we do figure that out, whenever we do confirm a rollover, we would pull a fib from that swing low to swing high, and then we can start looking at targets like 691 subjectively. We're just kind of forecasting now. 791, maybe 832, pulling back to those areas. We'll look into that ideas after we get up here to 1061 and roll over, if we're fortunate enough for that to happen, because we never know. One thing I will point out is the bullish cross of the 50 over the 200 saying, baby, it's time to buy. Doesn't mean buy right now. It means buy the next pullback. It's the safest way to play it because she's up there right now. So don't buy the green candles. Buy the red ones when we come down to these support areas. That's my take on it. And this is, when we get these green candles, this is when we're supposed to be paying yourself. You got to flip that mindset. Because the first thing that you want to do as a retail trader is, oh, it's going up. I want to be part of a winning trade. If I get in now, look, I'm up to $1. I'm up $40. I'm up. And then I'm not. And then she rolls over and what the hell? It was going up. And then the parabolic move stops and reality sets in. And the smart money, who was taking profit on these green candles, well, now they're going to be buying at we want to go with the smart money. The smart money is selling on the green candles and buying on the big dips and red ones around support. We need to trade like the winners because they're winning this market. Let's steal their ideas and their strategies. Now she still got some more gas in the tank, I believe, to get to $10.60. So let's just go ahead and lock that. So I got some of this over on CoinEx right now, right? I think I got it on spot too, so it's not doing anything for me. Let me make sure. Come on, baby. What you got here? Pretty sure I do have that, right? Yes, I do. Look here, right there. Well, I'll tell you exactly. I'll show you exactly how I'm going to play this because I'll do it right now. I've got a bag of this and I've had a bag of this, and I'm going to clear this whole sucker out. This is what I'm doing. Let me get on the right exchange. This is, well, let me put all my other stuff back up. This is Prime, right? I've got a bag of it on the spot. I want to make that bag work for me. I don't want it to just sit there and do nothing. I'm not going to diamond hand this thing till it reaches $100. And there's profits to be taken on the way. Let me go to my exchange over here, which will be CoinEx. What are you doing? All sources, CoinEx is where I'm trading, so I want the exchange I'm trading because, well, that's going to be the most accurate price prediction for me on the very chart that I'm working with. So let's clear out all that I've got, and here we go. I got two different ways I'm going to do this. I'm going to the same thing, just doing it from two different points. Here's what it's telling me: swing high to swing low. Oh, this one's good. This may be all I need. You see this little moving average right up here? Or I mean this Fibonacci line. This is this simple, folks. It is this simple to work this game. This simple. I'm laying out what I'm doing right now with my bag, my prime bag. Because I've got her when she was down in these areas, and it's time to take some profit. I've got 5 areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I'm going to do it different. I'm not even going to mess with this one, even though normally I would. I'm going to use the 5-4. I'm sorry. The 4-3-2-1 strategy on this. Or I could just go 25%, 25%, the next 25%, and it kind of tapers down and it'll pyramid down. But I want to pyramid down on this one. So, how many do I have? This is what gets me away from my 4-3-2-1 strategy if I got to figure it out. I got 43 of these guys. That's all I got. I got 43 of these guys sitting there. Oh, I don't know if I can... What's the easiest way? Well, rather than sitting here, if I had like 100, I could easily do 4-3-2-1 the math. This way, I'm just going to go 25. It lets me do this on CoinEx. I can go 40. What is that? 19.6. All right, 19.6. I'm putting in my sell orders right now here. 19.6. 25% of what I've got is 8.7 that I'm selling, and it will give me $171 profit, or the sale will give me $171. Boom, locked it in. Next one I've got is 16.89. I might just go 16.8 just to front run it a little bit. 25% of my bag is... Oh, you're going to do it equally? I shouldn't. We'll go with it. It's also saying 8.72 for 146. I'll do that. Coming down to this one at 1388. I'll go 13.8. 25%, which, here we go, which is only 6.5 coins, gives me $90. Come down here to 10.2. Go my 25%, which is somewhere around $5.89. I'm a little bit over, about $60. So I'm taking $60, a little bit more here, taking a little bit more, and 170, I think is what it was up here, right? And now I've got something left over. I've got 13 left over. Now I want to put that 13 up here at 23. Take the lion's share right there. I'm selling it all. I don't care. Only want to hold a little bit. I can buy more when she comes back down because I'm taking more of a trading idea on this rather than an investment idea. I don't give a crap about it. I can always buy them because she will go up and she will come back down. We will see them. If I'll take all that cash that I make up here, and if I want to, I can put it in here or anywhere else and I want to do it. So at 23.7, I'm selling the remainder of my bag, 13.74 for a total of $325 on that sale. Boom. Now I just pyramided. Using the little 25% mark on my little phone app helped me do that. And then I took the remainder and put it up here at the bigger one. And that works out pretty well. And that means that the more price goes up, the more the profit that I'm taking out of my bag. And that's how I like to play this game. It seems to work pretty good. And the whole idea is just to pyramid your orders in, bigger orders on top, and they get smaller and smaller. However, whatever system you come up with to do that. Remember, my first profit here is going to be small. It's just going to be $60. But if we come back down to these areas, $6, I got $60 that I can put in there and buy more if I want to. After that target hits, of course. And that's what I'm doing right there. Let's come back to the chat and see what's for dinner. Going to eat more shorts, says Stragan. If I get one more prime time commercial, I'm not set high. We're set on low. I've got the YouTube, the paid thing on my TV thing that I watch, but there's a lot of things on my phone that, oh well, it counts on there that I watch things and I don't get that. It is cool when you don't have to watch commercials, but that's how YouTube works, unfortunately. I'm reporting you to the manager. Lack of cowbell in the late day stream is appalling. We do need a little cowbell to perk things up. I keep meaning to put my little Caspa symbol on here. I've never cut it out on my little cricket machine or anything because it's one of those things that you buy and don't use. I found. Short stream is an hour. Where's Sean at? Oh my gosh, are we over? We may be over an hour. It may be time to get out of the stream. You can't handle me at my dry. Can't handle me at my wet. What? That's crazy. Uh-oh. I don't know what that means, but it's wet. Trend lines are awesome. Even chicks dig it. There we go, Archbit. That is true. Trend lines. Yeah. The basis of my system. Before I joined the trading group and started getting an authentic thing, I thought, well, I'm going to take a month and just figure this, just see what it tells me, what I can get intuitively. And the only thing I had to go by was trend lines. And that revealed so much to me. It really did. I know some of you guys are familiar with Tori Trades, and it's a lot like what she does. That's what was revealed to me when I did it. Tori Trades is also she's a no Nashville girl from my hometown. And I love her because she understands. Her uncle taught her, but she understands trend lines. And there's a thing. All the trend lines and there's secondary trend lines and all these other little ideas that you can play, and it's amazing. But I would feel confident if I just had trend lines and Fibonacci. And of course, I also include the horizontal support resistance. I call them trend lines too. It's not technically a trend line, but if you got your horizontals, and your Fibonacci also covers a lot of those good horizontals too. So trend lines and Fibonacci, man, with no indicators or anything. And sometimes I get caught up and forget about these indicators or don't have them turned on. That used to be the thing when I'd make my videos. I forget to turn them on for the video, so I couldn't break down what they were saying. I just get stuck in price action. And you can do a lot with just the price action. You really can, especially with some cool tools like the fibs. You throw in some moving averages and oh baby, just that combination, trend lines, fibs, and moving averages. I mean, we got other indicators down here that help. They're cool. Market. Cypher is a good one, whether you're using the free version or not. RSI, stochastics, MACD. I like MACD. I like to use that one on the bigger time frame just to help me not miss anything. The question is, will I listen to it? But so much you can do just price action alone, for real. So some people take the indicators and the oscillators and all these little things, and they take those sell signals or signals that it gives to heart, like, oh, I got to go all in now, or I got to go. That's the wrong way to approach it. Use it in confluence and take your ideas together, and it'll get so many thumbs up from all these things. Well, you got a lot of people saying, hey, the rocket is ready to fire whenever you're ready to go, and things just work out better. So I just use them mostly for confluence. Moving averages are awesome though. Well, guys, I feel like I've hit my hour. We went over a few altcoins and some of the ones that were popping off, and mostly just kind of some ideas and things. And even went over and showed you exactly how I'm laying out my prime bag, but since she's starting to take off, and that's what I'm doing. I just sit back and wait. All my positions, I just sit back and wait, and then I tune in. Oh, look, I got paid. Oh, look, I got paid. Every time that comes up, oh, look, today was payday. And then we just either roll it back in the same coin or put it in somewhere else, and we keep this thing going. Ultimately, trying to stack up more Bitcoin is the goal for me. Maybe different for you. Maybe you like the nasty fiat dollars. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. I'm looking for Bitcoin myself, and it's hard. But guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back again tonight about 10:30 p.m. is the normal nightly streams, and we spend a little bit more time going over a lot more altcoins and things, or will tonight because we covered Bitcoin right now. But look forward to seeing you here and maybe seeing some new faces there. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you can, help this channel.
Hitting that like button. I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll see you guys tonight. Thanks for hanging out.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze. Every word that comes out is a lie. Make you look like you're so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth, was gonna let you go.
When you trade crypto, and never is right. When the market starts to slide,
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not in crypto right now, you are missing out on one of the biggest opportunities in your life. Hit that like button, join and subscribe, and enjoy Road Dog Crypto.